Everyone, it's your girl Issa for Saturday. I know I'm in the same attire as I was in the last video. It's just that I'm gonna make 2 videos in one day so I can do more work. So this week's topic is trans history, and I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys about this topic. We have some very interesting people and some very interesting events. Before I begin, I just want to say I have not given you the full information. I stopped in the late 1970s, and I did not give you all of the people from the time periods in which I'm talking about, because I think it's very important that we ourselves go and look for trans history. One of the things that, at least from my experience, I can get when I read trans history is just this source of pride and happiness, because it's like, we have overcome so much, and we are just such strong people, and we've done such great things, you know? And when you read trans history, you really just, it helps, you know? Especially if you're going through like a terrible time and you're kind of like, oh, you know, I don't like being trans. I hate it. Why was I cursed to be trans, you know? You just read through this trans history and you're just like, wow, you know? We've done such amazing and great things. But anyway, after I'm done with this video, legit, like, type in trans history or something and just read up, honey. Read up, because you're gonna Anyway, so prior to the late 1800s, probably, cross-dressing or wearing clothing that was outside of your assigned sex was illegal and punishable by crime. But before that, before anything, before like the Europeans, there was what we call two-spirited people. And these were people in Native American tribes who basically embodied male and female, or who took the opposite gender role from the gender that they were assigned in. And these people were treated very nicely. They were treated kind of godlike, you know. And they were really appreciated within the Native American tribes, and I think that's great. But unfortunately, there was no medical intervention available then. Sad face. The next person that I want to talk about is Jenny June, and essentially she's the first trans writer. She's the first transgender person who is going to write about the experiences of a trans person and, you know, just basically walking outside of this gender box that has been created for you. The second person I want to talk about is Billy Tipton. And both of these people are in the early 1800s. I mean, not early, like early to mid 1800s. And Billy Tipton is a jazz musician, and he lives most his life as a male, almost his entire life, essentially, you know, just the life where you are a child and stuff. And nobody really knows that he is trans. Not even his son knows that he is trans until he dies. And he's like a big jazz musician. So this is like early in the mid 1800s. So I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to include that. Then we get into the 1960s, and Christine Jorgensen is basically one of the biggest trans icons that we know from our modern years. And she is the first trans woman to take estrogen. Although she's not the first to have sexual reassignment surgery, we typically say that she is because the first really was not documented and her name wasn't like big. And so basically everyone is just like, oh my god, you know, man became woman, this is amazing. Blah. And yeah, you know, that's Christine Jorgensen. But the next 2 things I'm going to talk about, they're not necessarily people, they're events. So the first event I want to talk about is the California Compton riots. And so basically there was this this cafe in San Francisco that trans people would go to, and it'd be just a place of community and safety. And California was like, no, we're not allowing trans people here. And they put a ban on letting trans people within. They put a ban on going in without wearing things of your same sex. And this is probably my favorite trans history event, because essentially this is just like the bread riots in the French Revolution, where the women of France are like, we're not gonna take this no more. We are so done with all your crap. And they go and they march up and they're like, give us our bread, give us our food, give us our rights, and all that stuff. This is essentially what the trans women are doing in these California Compton rights. They're walking up and they're like, give us our recognition, give us our support, give us our acknowledgement. You know, we're humans. We deserve to be recognized and accepted. And what this does is it opens up this vast opportunity for trans women to have a good sense of community, a good sense of medical support and attention. And it is literally my favorite event because we took initiative and we did things and we got something done. It's just, so great. The other event, and it's much more well known, it's just personally, I don't think that trans people are really recognized as much as they should be, but are the Stonewall riots. It was a trans person who threw the first stone, and for the most part, when the police came in and targeted people, they were targeting trans people because trans people were the ones who were wearing clothing of the opposite sex, you know, or of the opposite sex. And so I just think that trans people kind of need to be much more recognized for that, because in my opinion at least, we kind of started that stuff. And then the last person I want to talk about is Sandy Stone, and her essays basically made her the founder of transgender studies. Her essays and her work made her the founder. A lot of her essays were the origin of trans studies. Now, there is one more thing I want to talk about before I end this video. I'm sorry, guys, I know it's getting a little long. But when I was younger, I thought that I was the only black transsexual. I thought, you know, I was the first of my kind. And half of me was excited about this. Like, oh my god, you know, I'm gonna, like, do great things and be a trendsetter. Well, not a trendsetter, but I'm going to get to make a difference. And half of me was also extremely scared because I felt that I was alone. And, you know, I was like, but what does this mean? You know, if I am the only black transsexual person in this world, then does that mean that black people are extremely unaccepting? Does that mean that black people are not supposed to be trans? Am I some type of mistake? And so, you know, me being the smart person I was, I used the internet. And I found out about the first black transsexual woman. Now, back then I didn't really look into it. I was just kind of like, eh. And I went to images and I looked at all these other black transsexuals, and a lot of them were pretty and stuff. So I was like, I'm good, you know. But the sad thing was I saw a lot of them being murdered or convicted of something, or in sex work or in the porn industry. So I was kind of just like, well, looks like there isn't much for me as a black trans woman. But you know, then Janet Mock and Laverne Cox came and I was like, oh, okay. But I recently revisited this just to get some more research done. And I found the first well, not the first black transsexual woman, but the first one to be recorded and to be tried for being cross-gender. So she lived in the 1800s and the early 1900s. And basically, she lived her entire life as a woman, but she was tried because she was anatomically male. And I just want to read you a little quote that she had said that really just resonated with me. And it's, "I defy any doctor in the world to prove that I am not a woman. I have lived, dressed, and acted just as what I am, a woman." And that just really resonated with me because I was like, yes, you're correct. We are women. And to just be able to stand up and defy what everyone is saying when everyone's telling you, you're a man, you're male, you're not a woman, this is wrong, what you're doing is wrong. When she could just stand up and be like, no, what I'm doing is not wrong, I'm a woman, was just something that really just gave me this hope and this pride and this great confidence, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that now you're going to get off your butts and do some research yourself. And I will see you guys next week. Hopefully in the next video I will not be wearing the same attire. Okay, bye guys. This week's topic is music. And basically just music we listen to and how music has changed over the course of transition in our tastes and gender stereotypes in music.